Hello and welcome. You're watching Deep Dive on NewsX. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Today we are diving deep into one of Canada's most heartbreaking recent tragedies, the mass shooting in the Tumbler Ridge, British Columbia, which took place on the 10th of February 2026 in a nation where school shootings are exceedingly rare. This event claimed 10 lives, including the suspect. It left over 25 people injured. We'll be exploring the timeline, the community, the unanswered questions, and the broader implications for gun violence in Canada. But first, let's set the scene. Tumbler Ridge is a remote mining town nestled in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains. It's about 1,000 kilometers north of Vancouver and near the Alberta border, with a population of just around 2,400. It's a tight-knit community known for its natural beauty, dinosaur fossils, waterfalls, and outdoor adventures. Rather than violence, founded in the 1980s as a coal mining hub, the town has faced economic ups and downs, but residents describe it as a place where everyone knows each other. Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, at the heart of this story, serves grades 7 through 12 with about 175 students. It's a modest brick building, a cornerstone of local life. The school often flies the Canadian flag, proudly symbolizing the community's resilience. But on that fateful Tuesday, it became the site of unimaginable horror. The events began around 1:20 p.m. local time, when the Royal Canadian Mounted Police received reports of an active shooter at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. Students like grade 12 pupil Darian Quist recalled the alarm sounding shortly after class started. "I've never been through a lockdown in the school before," Quist said in a video shared on social media. In the chaos, students barricaded doors with tables and huddled in fear for over 2 hours. Quist described receiving disturbing photos via text, images of blood, and the aftermath that made the reality sink in. His mother, Shelley Quist, recounted her panic. "Got home and locked my doors, panic setting in until I laid eyes on him," quote unquote. She hugged him tightly upon reunion, vowing not to let him out of her sight. These personal accounts highlight the terror that gripped the school. RCMP officers entered the building to neutralize the threat. What they found was devastating. 6 victims are dead inside the school, and the suspect, described in an initial emergency alert as a female in a dress with brown hair, deceased from an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound. 1 more victim died en route to the hospital, bringing the school-related deaths to 7 victims plus the shooter. Additionally, 2 bodies were discovered at a nearby residence believed to be connected to the incident, totaling 10 fatalities. The injured numbered at least 25, with 2 airlifted to hospitals for life-threatening conditions. Others were treated at the local Tumbler Ridge Health Center for non-life-threatening wounds. A shelter-in-place order was issued for the town and surrounding areas. It lasted several hours until authorities confirmed no ongoing threat. The lockdown extended to Tumbler Ridge Elementary School as a precaution. RCMP North District Chief Superintendent Ken Floyd addressed the media in a virtual press conference, calling the scene very dramatic and emphasizing the community's grief. "We are not in a place to understand why or what may have motivated this tragedy," Floyd stated. He confirmed the suspect's identity is known but withheld for privacy and investigative reasons. Listen.
That includes the deceased gun person.
Okay. And then separately, do you know the gun person's relationship?
Well, speculation abounds. Was the shooter a student, a former student, or someone else connected to the school? The motive remains elusive, with police following leads on victim connections. The impact on Tumbler Ridge cannot be understated. Mayor Daryl Krakovka expressed profound sorrow. "I broke down. It's devastating. I probably knew each one of the victims," quote unquote. In a town this small, the loss ripples through every family, business, and gathering place. Schools were closed for the week, with trauma counselors dispatched by the province. Prime Minister Mark Carney echoed this, stating he was devastated and joined in grieving with those whose lives have been changed irreversibly. Today, local businesses stepped up with support, and residents like those in eyewitness videos shared stories of unity amidst fear. To put this into perspective, school shootings are rare in Canada due to strict gun laws. This is the deadliest since the 2020 Nova Scotia rampage, where 22 were killed, and echoes the 1989 École Polytechnique massacre in Montreal, which claimed 15 lives and spurred major firearm reforms. Canada has since banned assault-style weapons and implemented background checks, but incidents like this raise questions. How did the shooter obtain firearms? Was there a failure in mental health support or community vigilance? Well, as investigations continue, Tumbler Ridge begins the long road to healing. Our thoughts are with the victims, whose names, when released, will remind us of the human cost, and their families. If you're affected, resources like crisis hotlines are available. Joining us is Ambassador Gauri Shankar Gupta, former diplomat. Ambassador Gupta, what do you make of this horrific shooting, which has, of course, shocked the entire country of Canada? And why do you believe such incidents occur in the West?
Good evening, Udaji. First of all, it has been a very, very devastating incident. Our condolences to the families of all those who are affected. Now, to begin with, a warning was issued the previous day by the Canadian government, giving some details of the person, a lady who was involved in this shooting. So I don't know why the government or the police authorities were so lax. They should have identified that lady who was involved in the shooting. They have not declared yet the name and other details of the person, but they have confirmed that it was the same person who was actually put on what we call warning, which are issued by the government on phones. So they should have been little more careful. Obviously, the 9 students and one that lady who killed the people, the 10 people have died, 25 have been injured, and this is a very sad incident. In Canada, these incidents are not so common. In US, this kind of school shootings are very common. They keep happening every now and then. But in Canada, this has happened after almost 5 years. There was one incident in 2020 and before that in 2017. So these incidents are absolutely very bad. I know Canada. I have been there, and the Canadian authorities are very, very careful. But obviously, there are some people who are mad. Either they are mad or they are fanatic, and they don't know what they are doing. Once the identity of the person is actually disclosed, then we would realize who the person was and what was the motive. But for the time being, I think the Canadian government is now tightening the control. They have to regulate the guns, issued to the people. The gun issue laws are very, very liberal in these countries. They are supposed to be for self-defense, but they are not used for self-defense. They are actually used for killing others. So this law should be revised, should be reviewed by the Canadian authorities, and so is the case in US, where they should also review such laws.
Yes.
Because the larger number of these guns are issued for the people for self-defense, and the higher the chances of their misusage. Sometimes they are stolen and used by somebody else as well.
Yes. If we talk about this incident though, if we talk about this incident though in particular, Ambassador Gupta, thankfully these incidents are rare. They are not too common in Canada. They are of course much more common in the United States of America. But yes, any incident should be a wake-up call for the administration. In this particular incident though, Ambassador Gupta, what do you believe was the modus operandi, the reason for why this happened? What do you make of the identity of the shooter and why perhaps this crime was committed here?
Sorry, there's problem with internet. I'm not able to hear you clearly.
Ambassador Gupta, can you hear me, sir?
Your voice is cutting. I can't hear you clearly.
What do you believe was the reason? What do you believe was the reason for this incident? Okay, I think we've lost Ambassador Gupta, unfortunately. We're taking a very short break. Appreciate you joining us, Ambassador Gupta, with your perspective on this segment.